Okay, I'm working on the wheelhouse, doing the final blend, smoothing out the welds, and as I'm looking at the rocker panel, I get a little concerned. I see Bondo and stuff, and I knew there was some Bondo there before, and I really didn't think much of it. I did go after this one spot right here, and I found this long crease, and that's not too bad. But as I was grinding away this piece, I found this mess. Now this is over 1/2 inch in depth, and I didn't plan on messing with this, but I can't let that go. I know that this car is gonna have a lot of work done to it, a lot of paint work done to it, and it's gonna be a killer car for this guy. So I'm gonna address this, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grind out the rest of this weld, and I'm gonna show you a repair technique. You may like it, you may not, but what I'll end up doing is I'm gonna cut a line through the middle of this big dent, and I'm gonna work the lips back down, and then I'll weld it back together. The idea is I don't want to have a 1/2 inch of Bondo, and that's what this stuff is. This isn't even good material. This is the cheap Bondo. I don't want to have a 1/2 inch thick wad or something hanging up in there that could be a problem later. So I'm going to grind that out, and then I'll progress from there and show you how I do it. Alright, now there's a variety of ways this could be fixed. Some may try to put a stud nailer, dent puller on and try to pop these out, this dent. From my experience, this dent is so deep that the metal is stretched, and there's no way you're going to recover that stretch. So I've done several different techniques on these kind of things. In this case, I cut a cross or a plus or whatever, because I'm going to, as I work these edges down and back into shape, this metal is going to come closer together, and this gap is going to kind of go away. Then I can weld this back together. So I'm going to take a screwdriver and kind of work this down, maybe a hook or something, and as I get it down further, I'll show you how that looks. I did make my cut a little bit longer in the back here just so I could work the metal a little more, but this kind of shows you how far in that dent was. Also, you can see now that the metal is touching where I'd cut it, so that shows you how much extra material or how much stretch there was. Now I may end up cutting one more time, a little more relief in there, just so I can get that closer to being on the plane with the rest of the panel. Now I know there's still some deformation in different areas, but the idea was to get the biggest part of the dent out, and then we'll have to shape the bulk of it with filler anyway. But I just didn't want to have that huge amount of filler in that hole. There's half of it, and again, I know it's not going to be perfect, and it's still going to need filler, but that's a big improvement. And now I'll work the front half down and weld it up, and I'll show you what that looks like with that all done. Now to get that last corner down, I just took a piece of scrap and welded it to it and pulled on it, and that got it close. And I'll work it in a little more. I'll take a screwdriver and kind of wiggle through the edges here and square it up with the body hammer. But that should take care of at least getting it a lot closer. And there's the end result. Again, I wasn't shooting for a perfect job. The only way to get that is replace the rocker panel. But now I have a good foundation and a lot less material, and you can look down the panel and it's a lot closer. So it'll just take a little bit of material to fix that.